Well, I'm excited to talk to you today about family part of family wealth. A lot of the conversations that we have either on YouTube or with our clients are all about how to make $100 into $110 or to save a certain amount of dollars on taxes. But ultimately, the whole purpose of money is to not only look after yourself, but also your family, look after the charities that you want to support. And so one of the things that we don't talk a whole lot about, but is just as important as turning $100 into 110, is when that wealth transitions to your children, is that going to be a positive impact on their lives, or is it going to be a negative? A couple things that I wanted to share today are really kind of a number of ideas depending on the age group of each of your children. So I'm going to share a couple ideas for children in the elementary school, ideas for middle school, and then also for the high school age. And these are some things that I haven't really seen online, so hopefully you find a couple of these nuggets a bit fruitful for you and your family. And it's never too late to start on these practices here. So hopefully take 2 or 3 of these and make sure that when your child does receive that $110, hopefully more, then it's going to be a positive impact on their life. And they're going to be good stewards of the wealth so that hopefully they can be in a position to be able to transition that over to the next generation, over to your grandkids. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and dive into a couple of different ideas. So the first age group I want to chat about is on the elementary school side. So this is folks or kids age 5 to 10 years old. The first and biggest thing at this age is that they're going to start to model your behaviors. And that's going to be the hardest one to hear and hardest one to talk about. But what are they going to be seeing? Are they going to be seeing some impulsive buying, or are they going to be seeing you with that level of discernment, even for maybe like a box of mac and cheese, if you have the generic or the name brand, looking at, okay, one box is $1, the next box is $1.50. Are you going to take a look and talk them through saying, okay, well, let's maybe this week, let's try to save some money. And if we buy 5 of these, how much dollars are we going to save? And then encourage them to figure out the math of the savings. Now, this is really tough in today's day and age because of target pickup. Are they really going to see that savings or that discernment here as you're clicking through a couple different options here through Amazon or Target? And so this might be a little bit tougher to actually make the effort to go into the store and show them and model that behavior of that discernment. And then the other thing too is not just on the price side of things, but afterward, was that box of mac and cheese, was it actually good or not? So it could very well be that box of mac and cheese for $1 wasn't worth that 50-cent savings. And so that would be a good opportunity for the next time that you go to a grocery store. You could say, hey, remember how this box of mac and cheese was a little bit cheaper? Did you eat any of it? And so that's where not just the cost, but help them understand the value that they get potentially from paying a little bit more. The next idea for this age group is really playing some really great board games. So not just like the game of life, but also like Monopoly. And the key on the game of life is to be able to talk through the decisions afterward. So, for example, going through the game, figuring out who won or who had the most money, talking through which path did they take. Did they skip college? Did they get a high earning job even without going to college, for example? And then on the game of Monopoly, I don't know about you, but it's very hard to actually finish a game. It's usually take the whole day Saturday, and even by the end, everybody kind of loses some energy. So the key thing when you're playing the board games is actually pause and talk through, well, why did one have a better setup than the others, in order for them to start getting to think about what they might be able to do for their life. The last thing I want to share at this age group is to be able to set up a savings account in the kids' names. So this might be tough for larger companies, but for your community bank, for example, you can have a high yield savings account for yourself and then have your child's name on it. And what I'd actually recommend is actually have paper statements. And the reason for that is it's very hard for a child to fully understand, what that interest is looking at an app. But when they get something in the mail every month and they actually open it, it's amazing. I've never seen a 5-year-old, or I've never seen anybody as excited about making 10 cents in a single month than my 5-year-old daughter. And then the conversations after making that 10 cents about, hey, what are we going to spend that on? Well, you really can't buy anything. Well, maybe let's hold off and maybe make 11 cents the next month. Just with those small dollar amounts, start to get their minds thinking about, well, what's the benefits or pros and cons of that compounding interest, even in that small dollar and even in the pennies. So now I want to share a couple ideas around the middle school side of things. And usually about this time is when we start to look at some possibly lawn mowing or some babysitting. And so 2 ideas here for you on this front. The first one is to open up a UTMA account. And what this is a child's account. And what you do is you tell the children, hey, what stock or what company would you like to buy? And you might want to kind of whittle it down with like 3 or 4 ideas. My kids' first ones was Home Depot and McDonald's, for example. And it's usually helpful to buy one of those names that they're familiar with, that they're comfortable with, that they like, alongside an index funds like the S&P 500. And then that way, every year, you just buy them a new stock. And what you'll find is you'll actually find them kind of interested to just randomly just start to say like, hey, well, how's McDonald's doing, by the way? And then it's like, well, I don't know, let's take a look. And then 2 things on that front. As you see the account grow, again, it'll start to, instead of being those, whatever, that 10, 11 cents on the bank statements, it's like, oh, wow, $5 here and I didn't do anything. But then also on the flip side too. So it can be where if one of their investments is down, you might be able to see some of that negative impact on their emotions. And that's always tough, but for these, we're really in the training grounds, okay? That for every reward, we have to take some risk in order to achieve that. And we have to be able to have the strength and the courage to be able to handle those downturns. The other way is back in, if they have a job, particularly an easy one to talk through is on the lawn mowing side. So depending on the age group, if you have an old lawnmower or buy an inexpensive electric lawnmower, figuring out saying, hey, I'll buy you this lawnmower, and let's say it's $400, and just making up numbers, let's say, I make numbers easy, let's say it's $20 for every time you mow the lawn. And we have to mow the lawn once per week, and let's see if we can get 2 other neighbors to join in as well. So we got $60 per week, $20 per lawn. How much would it take to be able to recoup that loan that I gave you to buy that lawnmower? And so, asking them, okay, if it's $400, divided by, let's try to figure out how to divide that by 20. And then we divide that by 3. Okay, well now, by 3 neighbors, well now that's how many weeks. And how many weeks are in the summer? Encourage them to get that math, get that break-even point, start to understand the difference between profit and loss. And then encourage them and then maybe point out that future and say, hey, after you pay this off, how much money are you going to make by the end of the summer? But then also next summer, how much profit are you going to have after that? And showing that, taking that risk might be fruitful, but figuring out that break-even point is going to be more important for that stewardship and discernment and what a right investment might be for them later down the road. So last thing we want to chat about is some ideas around for high school students. The first one is going to be called the Mom and Dad Roth IRA Matching Program. This is typically the age where you start to get your first job at McDonald's or wherever else. And they start to have some earned income. And it's very easy to blow $15, $20 at Chipotle or whatever it might be. But if you set up a Roth IRA matching program, you can set up a minor Roth IRA. And one of our planners, Brianna Jensen, she has a nice video around minor Roths that you can check out. I'll have a link right here for you. But you can say to them, hey, you know what? You might make like $2,000 this summer. If you put in $300 into a Roth IRA, I'll match that. And so I'll put in $300 as well. The keys on that one is that you have to have earned income for it. So you actually have to pay taxes on it. And then you can set up that minor Roth. And then the second thing on the high school side is really on the long-term planning, and specifically around college planning. Over the last 25 years in regards to college, I've seen a pretty big transformation. The conversation around college 25 years ago wasn't, whether you're going to college or not. The question was which college you're going to. Whereas today, we're coming across a lot of millennials that maybe graduated near or in or after the 2008 Great Recession, and then started making some good money in 2020, and they couldn't find a contractor to help them out. And some of the blue collar jobs started to outpace the income of some of the white collar jobs out there. And so when we talk about long-term planning, referencing the old days of the game of life, going through and saying, okay, well, if I go to college and I do this, I'm interested in engineering, how much might that cost? What kind of jobs would they like? Maybe try to, reach out to us and see if you want to do a job shadowing with one of our clients that's an engineer. Happy to set that up and encourage and get a taste of what that life might be like to see if it's a good fit for them or not. If we don't go the college route, what kind of jobs are you interested in? Do you like building things? Do you like fixing things? And what kind of fixing do you like? Is it plumbing? Is it woodworking? And then explore some of those options in the community college or some of the trade schools. And after you reference or take a look at those different roles, different programs, looking at the cost and then the potential value, Then you'll be able to reference, for example, that mac and cheese discussion that you had at the grocery store. So all these things are different ideas that I've seen and heard about that maybe aren't available online. So hopefully you found a few of those helpful. And if you did, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Thank you so much for your time today.